Hey guys, it's Wilson, also known as Design by Will, and before the video starts, make sure to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button because it shows people more videos of mine, and sharing content is extremely important for growth and for other people's learning in design. And if you guys hear any background noise, it's just rain. Currently Brisbane is going through a massive flood, so just pray for me, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Peace. What's up guys, it's Wilson, also known as Design by Will, and in today's video we're going to be redesigning a luxury streetwear brand. Now when you're looking at luxury streetwear, I want to just dismiss the notion of like it's good, because I think it's just really simple and lazy, unfortunately. Like State of Mind has completely ripped off Represent clothing in terms of branding, identity, and even colorways. Like match for match, they've completely copied Represent clothing. Now I'm not gonna knock State of Mind because I think they have a really good movement going on. Like they want you to be better and better yourselves, and they have like the day 50 challenge or whatever, and I really like that idea. But in terms of clothing and branding, they've just completely ripped off Represent clothing. Now obviously Represent had influences from other major fashion houses such as Fog, Fear of God, and their Essentials line. But the one thing that separates Represent from State of Mind is Represent has a lot of cut and sew, and they're more established. Obviously State of Mind's a new brand, so like just printing on t-shirts is what they're doing. And people could say like luxury streetwear is not about the designs, it's about the cut of clothing, but literally they're just printing on like Rue Potter blanks and not spending, I would say, above like $20 bulk if they're buying bulk orders, which I think they do because they print and ship out all their stuff by themselves. So I kind of just want to get rid of that notion of you have to print on these super high quality blanks. You just have to have a market for it. And the way that State of Mind is doing it is they're giving you an insight and making you feel like you're a part of something. Like how Represent Clothes have their owners club, you're part of something. So the movement of bringing people together in a community and then selling something about that community is very big right now. You can see it with NFTs and other items like that. The first thing you want to do is build an audience, and then you want to sell them something. Now I'm just gonna design a luxury streetwear clothing brand for you guys and show you guys how easy it is for these brands to design a luxury streetwear clothing brand. So the first thing you're going to want to do is just hop into Illustrator and just write out the name. Now the name Thoughtless is a play on like the idea of luxury clothing. I just think it's really thoughtless. You're not really thinking. It's just a lot of copying in different colors, and that's the approach I'm going to take it. In terms of design, literally the first thing you're going to want to do is find a sans serif font and find it in thick bold. So this one looks perfect, like literally copy and paste perfect. And I don't know if they all use the same typefaces, but they're all very similar. I'm just gonna drag this one down a little bit, play with like icons and logos here and there. Very simple. I'm just copying and pasting that T, spinning it around, and then making some sort of icon. I know this is like extremely like simple and boring, but I just want to show you guys the thought process on designing these luxury streetwear brands. And I guess you could kind of have sympathy because most of them are not trained in design or graphic design. They're just people who want to bring a brand to life, and that's really amazing that they're able to do that without having to like flesh out a lot of thought. They just see what's trending and then you build a brand on what's trending. It's very like Shopify like, drop shipping like you get something you can resell really easily, and you just design something really basic. Like it's the most basic graphic design skills, and that's what you build your brand around. And another thing that's really common is they all have some sort of quote at the bottom. Essentials doesn't really do this, or Fear of God doesn't really do this, but obviously Represent Clothing and State of Mind have this in their design. It's just like sort of summarizing what the collection or what the brand is. So I'm just gonna go on Google and search up the definition of thoughtless, which I did, copy and paste it, and then just put it in some sort of script font. So now that we got our typeface, we're just gonna bring it and use the centering tool to center everything, and then highlight the top. And basically you're just gonna want to make it bold, and if it doesn't have a bold option, you can do that manually, just by right clicking obviously and expanding it. But I always make a duplicate of whatever I expand, just in case I want to go back without having to press Command Z and going all the way back. So I'm just gonna ungroup it, select the top, and just go create outline, and then group the top with each other and make sure the top is all expanded into one object. And then just gonna go to object, path, offset path, and then just play with the offset until you get the desired thickness for the typeface. Now I do this a lot when typefaces don't have a font family, and in Illustrator you can honestly do whatever you want with type. You can completely change type, so never feel like you need to find the right font. I know I used to have that mindset of, oh, I need to find the right font. You can just make the right font. And I really want to teach how to make fonts later on when I'm more comfortable with it. I've only done one complete font by hand, and it was the worst experience of my life because it took ages. But yeah, so now we're just going to make some little icons here and there, but we've essentially got the main branding down pat for the design. So now that we got that, I'm just going to play with the actual logo, I guess, or main type. And since we've got that script font at the bottom, I really want to put that into the main font itself, just to make the design more unique. I just feel like it's way too boring when it's all flat like that. And I'm just going to show you the process in doing that. So first we're just going to get our typefaces, and we're going to make them bold again, almost around the same thickness as the type itself. So that was too thick. The way I'm doing it is the same way: object, path, offset, path, and then I'm just playing with the offsets a little bit to see how thick I want it. I still want a little bit of spacing between the T, so yeah, that's perfect. And we're just gonna ungroup those once we've got them all done and ready. And then we're gonna just ungroup the main typeface itself, and then just get rid of the letters that we already have. Obviously I made a copy just in case I mess up and I don't like how it looks, but yeah. So once we remove those letters, all you have to do is just dragging the new letters from the other font family and make sure they align properly. You don't have to worry about kerning, because obviously we want this thing to have presence, and we don't want it to look perfect. We just want it to stand out a little bit. Then I'm going to select the other font, the main font, and I'm just going to go to transform and then shear, not scale, shear, and then just play with the angle and match the angle to the script typeface itself, just so it looks more natural. Probably going to set it to 30, press OK. Then we're just going to select the T and the L, go back to object, path, offset, path. Once we have that ready, we're going to just select the whole font, then use the shape builder tool and just build new shapes. So we're just getting rid of the sections that are touching the L and the T within the other shape. And the way I'm doing that is just using the shape builder tool, like I said again, and then we're getting rid of that offset, and then it shows us where the T's were intercepted with the other object, the T and the L, sorry. And we're just gonna get rid of that to make it look like it's cut out and make it look more uniform and professional. Once you got that all done, just change the color all to black to see it in uniform and unison, just to see how it looks properly. And I think it's perfect. It looks way better than I did before. Adds more character to the design. Just group it all together before you start moving it around so you don't mess up anything. And bam, we got the first design for the back done. Basically that's literally all it is, and that took around 20 minutes to complete while teaching. So yeah, just put that into perspective. So now I'm just gonna get the T and the L and make some sort of logo. I'm just gonna skip this part because it's the same as before. So now that we got our designs, it's time to put them on mock-ups. I'm just making a duplicate, and then I'm just gonna change the colors to a more cream color so it can sit on a black t-shirt much more nicely. Originally I was gonna put it on a white shirt, but I'm like, too much white shirts when it comes to those brands. It's a lot of creams, whites. And it wasn't until Represent Clothing started to introduce like those reds and greens. Everything was a lot. It was boring. I know cream and brown and blacks look so nice together, which is what I'm doing right now. But I would recommend, if you can, just print on some color with like some solid white text or something. It's way more unique and it stands out. I think a good example of this would probably be Louis Vuitton. When they introduced Virgil into their collections, he started to introduce so much color, and it made the brand just stand out 10 times more, especially with the monograms and everything. So yeah, if you can print on color, printing on color is more expensive. That's why people don't do it. But if you can, I recommend you should. So now we got all our designs mocked up using the simple designs that we made. All I did was literally play around with arrangements on the mock-ups. So with the hoodie, I placed the icon or the symbol or logo, whatever you want to call it, to the left, and then I put that slogan that was on the back of the t-shirt on the front, on the other side of the chest. And then I just got the logo that we made for the brand and just arced it, like using the effect arc and warping tools, just to make it look like it was bent, and then bent it over the back underneath the hood to the shoulders, which is a really nice look that I think Palm Angels brought into like the limelight and made really popular. And yeah, that's basically it. Now we're just gonna move on to making a shirt design that would be classified as like a unique drop, for instance, for the brand, that they wouldn't really have on deck, but have like a small collection of. So the first thing we're gonna do is just find an image of an Unsplash. I'm looking for painted on flowers or birds, something that just looks nice, elegant, and clean. And we're just gonna cut that out, take it into Photoshop, and just play with the colors a little bit. And I'm gonna be using my map pack 49, my Photoshop maps. Just play with the different colors and gradients I can get, make it like a cool effect. And I really like and enjoy this one. And then we're just gonna further add a hue and saturation mask on top of that underneath the map pack 49, and just play with the colors a little bit more. Once we have it how we want it, we're just gonna screenshot it or export it as a JPEG, whatever is easier for you, and just place it into Illustrator. Once we have it into Illustrator, we're just gonna highlight it and then go to image trace. Now we're gonna play with the image trace settings and keep it on color. turn up all the paths and the threshold so you can see it how it is. Once you got it how you like it, all you're gonna do is press ignore white and then expand the image trace, and then you got a beautiful, like, it looks like it's painted on object. And once that's done, we're ready to play with our typefaces. After we've got that out the way, we're just gonna go in and add a simple quote like stop overthinking or don't overthink, like play on the word thoughtless itself again, and don't do too much with the design, and just play with the placement of it until it looks nice, and then add our final logo and have our design complete and just add it onto our mock-ups. You know what, it actually looks kind of plain, so I'm just gonna go and grab the Oasis Planet and just grab this elegant like shooting star type star and just add it into the design, like into the empty spots. I know white space is good when you're designing, but I love filling things with other things that might look cooler, so I'm just trying out how this looks. I think it looks really nice if I just change the colors and the arrangement. But yeah, like I think that looks super sick. It just adds to the whole design, makes it look more complete. And I'm just centering this thoughtless logo at the bottom a little bit more. Like once we add it to a mock-up, that just looks beautiful. Like I think this is the best looking, like simple design. Doesn't take that much effort, but I think it just fits really well. And basically once we got all that done, it's time to just put everything together, make a front version of the logo for this. To do this, I'm just gonna grab one of the Oasis Planet stars and just like making a Y2K logo of some sort. Just gonna be the same thing, offset path, cutting out the arrangements and then bringing it all together. Bam. So what do you guys think of the final designs themselves? Obviously, I think they're awesome. I really like these designs. Obviously, very simple, very clean, very minimal. But I just wanted to show you guys the amount of effort into developing a streetwear brand. Sometimes you can go very minimal. Sometimes you can go super graphical. And stuff like this is extremely simple for me to do. Maybe because I'm very experienced in design. But for instance, someone like you watching at home who's never done design or used Photoshop and Illustrator in their life, the effects that I'm doing very quickly might be hard for you to comprehend and put together. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that you can do this if you did want to. And it's very easy to bring this streetwear graphic look, like luxury streetwear look, to life very easily without thinking too much of it. Obviously this did take a little bit of time to complete, but if I were like introductory into design, I know this would take me ages. So let me know what you guys thought overall in descriptions, and let's hear a rate. What do you guys think about streetwear? And don't forget to check out my socials at Design by Will and my website at Design by Will for all the assets used in this video today. And I'll see you guys when I see you. Hopefully you stay safe. Peace.